Yesterday I made a video talking about neurographic art and how it can soothe your brain if you're feeling stressed out. And I realized as I watched it over again, that's the kind of video that I'm not crazy about as a person watching videos, because basically what I said was this makes your brain feel good because reasons. And that's kind of true. It's very incomplete. So I thought I would take another crack at it and really talk about what this technique boils down to. So you start out by doing what is called the automatic. No, you don't want to do an automatic line. It's called the neurographic line. I frequently draw that with my left hand because it's one of the ways that you can just sort of not draw the automatic line. Like if you grab a pen and you just start to draw a line on a piece of paper, you're going to probably make the same kind of swoop every time you do it. So you want to try to disrupt that a little bit, and doing it with your offhand is a good way. Then you come along and you draw in what I call the lumps. And these are just, sort of circle, oval type shapes. I like to circle the intersections and other places where it makes interesting spaces. And each one of these lumps, you give a name to using language in your brain. And so what this technique is supposed to do is to connect the subconscious and the conscious parts of your brain. So where the conscious part of your brain comes in is in language. And so each one of those lumps has a name. And so what I'll give them names of are things that I'm worried about, things that I'm upset about, my fears, my cares, my worries, all the things that are sort of heavy on my heart. Each one of those I'll give a name to. So now that you've given these things a name in your brain, in your prefrontal cortex, you're going to come along and round off all of those shapes. And so now you've named these things, the things that you're afraid of and worried about and all of that. You don't need to try to remember that anymore because it's already stored in your prefrontal cortex. So you don't have to keep going, oh, this is my this is my dental work lump. No, you don't have to worry about that. You've already named it. Rounding off the edges speaks to your amygdala, what they call the hindbrain, the place where your fight or flight or freeze reaction lives. And the part of your brain that is hyper excited when you're afraid, or like so many of us are under chronic stress. So when you're under chronic stress, what's happening within your brain is that you're constantly sending all these danger signals to your brain. Rounding off these shapes removes the danger signal. All of the rest of it is just decoration. So I like to play with my colored pencils. I recently got some new iridescent ink, so I'm looking to, sort of have a unifying color and see if I can add some shimmer to this blue area. And, once you get past the core of the technique boils down to the neurographic line, the lumps, naming the lumps, and rounding off anywhere that there's a point, you turn into a round edge. The rest of it is just for my own pleasure. And the way that I think about it is taking all of those cares and troubles and things that are on my mind and, kind of making them pretty. I suppose one could argue that whether they actually come out pretty or not. I'm always kind of playing around with trying to make them look three-dimensional, and I'm very excited about the difference, the contrast between the matte of the pencils and this shiny ink. And so you know, what I like to call this is fancy doodling. This is a small notebook. I've got one way smaller than that. Each one of the pages is about the size of a business card, and in all different colors. And I can finish off one of those drawings in its entirety in an hour, maybe hour and a half. This one took, throughout the course of the day, maybe about 4 hours. And because of all that rounding, it's very soothing. It's very soothing to the nervous system. And when your nervous system feels better, you feel better. I'll drop a link for tutorials and stuff like that if you're interested in following up more. I have done a jillion of these things. I really love them. It's helpful. It makes you feel better. If you want to know more, hit me up. I'll be happy to share with you.